You are working on Dante since a long while, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, absolutely. Well, because this year is the 700th anniversary of Dante's death, I've been working with Juliet Holden and a number of actors in curating a whole series of online Dante events, really from the beginning of the year onwards, through the J Productions Milan production company. And this has taken the form of convening an online reading of one of the cantos of Divine Comedy with a group of professional actors taking all the roles, and then also getting the participants, the attendees, to take a turn at reading from Dante, and also having an Italian scholar, Dante expert each week, reading the canto beautifully in Dante's original Italian, so that we can get to hear how it should really sound, and following the text on screen, with the Italian on one side and the English on the other. And and then exploring the themes and the story and the characters of each canto. And these events have been running every 2 weeks online throughout the first part of this year.
Mm. So it has been a long study also because now you are quite fluent on on Dante. You use a translation which was done during many years. It took I think tens of years for the translation to
Yes,
be done. So
absolutely.
it's a very accurate and in the same time living translation.
Absolutely. It's by Robert and Jean Hollander. And Robert Hollander, of course, was a professor of Italian medieval literature at the University of Princeton for many years. And Jean Hollander, his wife, was an acclaimed poet, American poet. And so this translation, to my knowledge, is unique because it is the combination of an academic, a scholar, and a poet working together, and also a husband and wife team working together. And in fact, Robert and Jean Hollander were honored by the city of Florence in 2008 and received the Golden Florin Award for their work on Dante. So we feel that, although, of course, to be performing Dante in English is sacrilege, for Italians, if you have to do it in English, this is the best translation to use. And in fact, this year also marks the passing of Professor Robert Hollander. His wife, Jean, died a number of years ago, but he passed away earlier this year. So as well as Dante's 700th anniversary, it is also the year of the great Robert Hollander's passing. So there's a kind of a double commemoration happening.
Until you are not cooking a pizza, it's not a sacrilege anyway. Uh, I think Italians will tolerate Dante in English, and they will highly appreciate, by the way, because it's also an important crossing. You explained some time ago about the cultural crossing between English theater, Italian theater in different eras. I have been reading this interesting interview
Yes.
you gave, and you were talking also about Dario Fo and about
Yeah.
your activity in Italy. So uh, it was quite interesting, but out of team now. You are in Italy. It's clear also by the frame. And
Yes.
the interesting part of this crossing English Italian and Italian poet, well, a pre-Italian poet, if you want, uh, um, in English with parts in Italian and so on. It's actually done to collect funds also for refugees.
Absolutely. Yes.
And
The
you are talking,
event.
and Dante was a refugee himself, obviously,
Yes. Yes.
and you work, you will help the community of Sant'Egidio in order also to teach Italian for foreigners, and s-
Exactly.
and so it's a
Yeah.
double cross.
Exactly, a double cross, yeah. So that's right. This event, Speaking Dante, is raising funds and awareness for the community of Sant'Egidio, working with refugees and migrants in Florence. And they have an amazing program called the Schools of Language and Culture, which creates classes for refugee families to attend and to learn the Italian language and engage with Italian culture. But also it creates a forum for cross-cultural fertilization. So refugees from Syria, from Kurdistan, from Iraq, and of course now from Afghanistan can share their stories and exchange the sort of the stories of their culture that they've come from, and so it's very much a forum for cooperation and cross-fertilization. And so, as you say, Dante in some way represents the birth of the Italian language, the first one of the first great works of European literature written in the vernacular, not written in Latin, and in many ways can be credited with almost the invention or the codifying of the Italian language. And so it seems a very appropriate way to support refugees and migrants coming to Italy, to use this as a fundraising opportunity for their engagement with Italian language and culture. And so we've been very inspired by the community of Sant'Egidio, the courage and vision of their work. And so we pick up, as you say, on that parallel that 700 years ago, Dante fled his home city of Florence as a refugee from civil war and political persecution. And he writes very movingly about this in Convivio, where he says, I have traveled like a beggar, like a stranger almost, through all the lands to which this tongue of ours extends, displaying against my will the wound of fortune. Truly, I have been a ship without sail or rudder, blown by the dry wind that painful poverty blows. And so we wanted to really emphasize that parallel, that he laments the pain of exile throughout his life. And of course, in these years of painful exile, this is when the Divine Comedy is conceived.
About what will happen on Monday to Tuesday. I mean, 24 hours of Dante readings, many different voices, and a big work you have, and you were doing some. I mean, you were working today about that also, and
Yes.
the rehearsal. And how do you? I mean. It's something very complicated. Dante is already very heavy and complicated for many, and you have to propose it to an Italian and an international public. You have to make Dante appreciated by both, by Italians in English and by foreigners to understand Dante. Difficult work and difficult to coordinate all these actors. And by the way, you have some big names giving video contributions, if I'm not wrong, and others
Absolutely.
on stage. So do you have to organize everything?
That's right. Everything has to be woven together. Yes, we have, as you say, videos from Helen Mirren, Rafe Fiennes, Jesse Buckley, Dominic West, Stephen Delane, Adjoa Ando, Ian McDermott, Tim McInerney, John Nettles, Rupert Everett. So an amazing international cast of actors contributing their filmed cantos remotely, and then a fabulous cast, also international, coming together live on stage. And we've all been rehearsing here in the middle of Tuscany together today. And it's been very exciting, actually, to see the rehearsal, to see how the translation leaps off the page. Robert and Jean Hollander's translation, of course, is incredibly academically faithful, but it's also the work of a living poet, Jean Hollander. And so it has this, not exactly populist, but this kind of modernity, this energy, a sense of muscle and energy and power to it, which really makes it leap off the page as storytelling. We're going to also provide all of the text in subtitling. So Italian on one side, English on the other, simultaneous as the actors are performing. So you can follow it in whichever language you want. And also, just before each canto, a little summary slide comes up, which explains, if you know nothing about Dante, this is what happens in this canto. Dante finds himself in a dark wood in the middle of his life and tries to escape climbing a sunlit mountain, but meets three ravenous beasts, the leopard, the lion, and the she-wolf, and is driven back, and then meets a ghostly figure who offers to become his guide, the poet of ancient Rome, Virgil. And so just in a couple of lines, both in English and Italian, we explain before each canto what's about to happen. And we also are using some beautiful illustrations by Gustave Doré, which have been treated by the Italian artist Felice Limosani and beautifully digitalized. And we thank the Alinari Foundation for allowing us to use those. And also illustrations by William Blake, the great English painter, illustrator, and stonemason, and the work of a fabulous contemporary Italian artist, Gabriele Del Otto, a cartoon artist and comic book artist. So three very different styles of visual art representing different episodes from Dante, and these will come up on the screen behind the actors as they are performing. So there's all kinds of multimedia stuff going on to keep people engaged and interested and to spark the imagination. And so, yeah, we're really excited about this as a piece of storytelling. Never mind if you don't understand what all the footnotes mean and the reference to this bishop or this pope or this count or this duke. Actually, it doesn't matter because the story is so powerful and so universal.
It will not last 700 years, but I mean, 24 hours is already long enough. It's, I think, 6 times Ben-Hur or something like that, 5 times more or
Absolutely.
less, and with a big cast. So it's a colossal, actually. I don't see many people being ready to follow it for all the 24 hours. How does it work if someone steps in, out? Is it still possible or?
It is, absolutely. Well, what you can do, you can either buy a ticket. If you want to attend the event in person, you can buy a ticket from Cinema La Compagnia
Mhm.
through the website, or you can turn up and buy a ticket at the box office for one part of it. So you can buy a ticket for, just one section, which is like 9 cantos. And then there's a 15-minute
That's it.
interval, and then we have another 9 cantos, 15-minute interval, and so on. So we break it up into these episodes of about 8 or 9 cantos at a time, which lasts about an hour and a half. So roughly the length of a full-length movie. And then there's a 15-minute interval. The cinema, bar, and restaurant will stay open all night and all day. Or you can buy a ticket for the whole of Inferno, or the whole of Purgatorio, or the whole of Paradiso, which is about 5-6 hours. Or you can buy the 24-hour ticket, which will allow you to come and go throughout the whole event. And then we're also live streaming it. So it will be live streamed through the Piu Compagnia website. And that will be free to view during the 24 hours of the performance. And thereafter, from 7 p.m. on Tuesday, the 14th of September, you have to pay a minimum donation of €8 to access the live stream. And then that will be online until midnight on the 24th of September. So for 10 days, that will be available. And we're encouraging people, of course, to donate as much as they can. Yes, a minimum of €8, but please give us 100 because all the proceeds are going to the community of Sant'Egidio and their work with refugees and migrants in Florence.
I think you don't just expect that. You are not thinking just about the result in terms of donation to the Sant'Egidio community. You are not just thinking about the result in terms of performance, of people appreciating it. You are expecting something else. also.
Well, absolutely. I think that we hope that what we're creating here will become an online resource, some kind of almost like a massive video book or a massive audio book or an online library that can become a learning resource for people who are interested in Dante. It's, as far as I know, it's an unprecedented undertaking to bring together all these actors reading Dante's Divine Comedy over 24 hours with all of these beautiful multimedia elements. And of course, we will capture all of the audio and film footage from this. So we hope very much that that can be turned into a piece, a legacy piece, an archive piece that can be available to everyone around the world.
The sky has changed color behind you. It's wonderful also to show how the time goes, and we are talking about something which is going on 2 days. So it's I mean also symbolically representing it, and it's a wonderful picture, by the way. So thank you so much.